Hi everyone, this is Ash from ASPN. Today we have a very special guest, so welcome Michael Marcantonini. Hi Michael, thank you for coming on with me. We would like to start off with you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, Ash. Really appreciate you reaching out to have me on, and always happy to talk to aspiring broadcasters. So, a little bit about myself. I'm from the Philadelphia area. I grew up a Philly sports fan, really loving all sports, but baseball's always been my favorite sport. It's been a passion of mine since I was really young. So, I got into sports broadcasting when I was pretty young as well, going to the play-by-play sports broadcasting camps in the Philadelphia area. And then just from, getting my start in broadcasting from those camps, decided it was something that I wanted to pursue long term. So when I was in middle school and high school, I did stuff broadcast and sports media related. Eventually went on to college and decided that I wanted to major in communications, broadcast journalism. I graduated from Penn State University. I love Penn State, a lot of school pride. Love being a Nittany Lion and being an alum of one of the best universities in the country. And while I was there, I really figured out that I wanted to be a play-by-play broadcaster. I had done a lot of stuff within sports media. I did a lot of sports talk radio, podcast stuff, on-air TV reporting and anchoring, writing, social media production. So I really did it all, and of course, play-by-play. So I did it all within broadcasting and realized that play-by-play is what I loved doing the most. It was what I felt comfortable doing and what I thought that I was just really good at. So decided to pursue it, and now I'm at the point where I'm in my fifth year broadcasting games in professional baseball. It's been a really tough journey to get here. I mean, it has not been the success has not been linear. There's been speed bumps along the way, but persevered to get to this point. Fifth year in pro ball. I've lived in five different states in the U.S. as well as Australia for broadcast jobs, and now I'm in my second full season, third year overall, calling games for the Aberdeen IronBirds and the Orioles organization. So it's been a really fun ride. I do some college sports play-by-play on the side for a couple different schools, and I feel like I'm in a really good stretch right now, and just having fun doing what I love doing.
This is amazing. I've been to a couple Ironbirds games, and they are so fun. They have so much activities. Like some of the activities I've done, I did a chicken dance on the dugout. But I met you at the play-by-play sports broadcasting camp, and thank you for going there to share sports broadcasting stories and answer our questions.
Absolutely, man. Happy to do it.
All right, so here's some questions I have for you. All right, did you watch Ironbirds games before you started working with them?
No, I didn't watch Ironbirds games regularly before I started working there. Although before I got hired there in 2022 to be the voice of the team, I had actually broadcast an Ironbirds game before. Back in 2018, I filled in on a broadcast there when they needed somebody, and somehow they ended up reaching out to somebody who recommended me, and I got to call a game there. So I was familiar with the Ironbirds, of course, because of that, and also because of all the Ripken baseball tournaments they have going on across the street, playing in those growing up. My brother had played in those, so I knew a lot about the Ironbirds, but until I started working there, I didn't really pay attention to what was going on.
Nice so you did one and got recommended into it. Then, at what age did you first become interested in sports broadcasting?
I think it was so I went to the camp when I was 10 years old was the first year I went to the camp. And I don't think right away that I knew that I could really build a career in it or maybe necessarily have the 100% interest to do it. But as I kept going to the camp and really enjoying myself there, I think I figured probably late middle school, early high school that it was something that I really wanted to do, but I didn't really know what within broadcasting. So as I continued to do that and as I got more experience doing broadcast stuff, that's when it really started to be like, all right, this is exactly what I want to do and I want to pursue this.
Okay, I see that. Now, what is your favorite thing about sports broadcasting?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many cool aspects of working in sports broadcasting. Specifically with what I do as a play-by-play broadcaster, my favorite thing is reacting to what happens out on a field or a court or the ice or whatever sport I'm calling with the playing surface, reacting to what happens there because these games you never know what's going to happen. Every single game in every sport is different, and you're not reading off of a teleprompter. There's no script. You can have notes in front of you, but what happens out on, specifically for me, the baseball diamond, I have no idea what's going to happen. So reacting to what happens to that, and being able to show my passion and energy and love for the sport, with the viewers and listeners at home, that I think is what makes it really special.
Do you ever get nervous while you are doing your sports broadcasting?
No, I never get nervous broadcasting, which is it's interesting because, like, growing up playing sports, I mean, when you're playing in big games, of course, you've got some nerves. In school, if you've got a big test or a big presentation, there's nerves there. But for some reason, I've never been nervous broadcasting, at least play-by-play broadcasting. I used to get nervous in college if I would be doing a something on camera or doing like a live report or something like that. But with play-by-play, I think it just fits my personality, what goes into play-by-play broadcasting, and I've never really been nervous. I got the headset on. Yeah, sometimes I'm talking to an audience of thousands of people, but it doesn't really faze me because I'm doing what I love and something that I'm knowledgeable and passionate about. I don't get nervous. Sometimes I think I'm more nervous about the broadcast working the right way with, no audio or video issues or technical issues like that than I am with the actual broadcast. But it just feels right when I call games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, it's nice being not nervous while doing sports broadcasting. But for people that are nervous, do you have any tips for them?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I would say is, first I'd kind of ask, what makes you nervous, or what about broadcasting causes the nerves? And I think, if you ask yourself that question, I think it puts into perspective what you're doing. I mean, regardless of what you're doing, play-by-play broadcasting, sports talk radio, anchoring at a news desk, whatever. You're talking about sports for whether it's for fun growing up, or now at this point in my career I'm getting paid to do it. I'm no need to be nervous. When you're talking about sports. I mean, I tell people all the time, what I'm doing when I have a guest on my broadcast, a color commentator. We're just going back and forth talking sports like we would either hanging out, having lunch somewhere at a restaurant, or sitting at home on the couch watching a game. So I think when you put into perspective what you're doing, I think it kind of shows you, or at least you figure it out mentally, that you're not doing anything that's that serious. You're just having fun talking sports. And I think just go back to that. Think about why you got into it in the first place. Like, why are you passionate about it? Why do you want to pursue a career in sports broadcasting? And then I think that kind of takes the nerves away.
Yeah, I also love play-by-play because recently I have done a Nats MVP MC where I got to first I got to like announce the umps, the uh away team, and then also the home. And then but one big thing that I did was for 4 innings I went into my own booth and then I play-by-played for 4 innings. And then for the second inning, I play-by-played with Ryan Zimmerman, which is super fun because yeah, but it's nice to have a partner while play-by-playing because you get to talk to them about the game and like other questions, and it's way funner to have a partner than to just do it alone. So did you have a partner?
Yeah, so actually, I mean, first off, I mean that's so cool that you've had the opportunity to do that. I mean, one, just being able to do all of what you just said is incredible, but two, to be able to broadcast a little bit of a game with Ryan Zimmerman there next to you. I mean, that's Mr. National. I mean, he's a legend there, face of the
Yeah.
franchise. So, I mean, that's really cool. He's a guy that I grew up watching and always liked him as a player. But I don't have a set partner in Aberdeen that I call games with. It's usually just me solo. But this season, I've taken it upon myself to start a guest in the booth series where I'm bringing on different guests every homestand, and just having people that either cover sports or do something in the media in the Baltimore area, and bring them on, get a different voice and perspective in there, and it's just fun being able to go back and forth. But normally it's just me calling the games.
Uh, so do you have any goals for um this year? Any like goals that you haven't completed yet that you want to complete in sports broadcasting?
Yeah, I mean, this year specifically, obviously it's out of my control, but I would love to call a championship season. Right now, if the season ended today, the IronBirds would be in the playoffs, which is awesome. I got to call playoff games back in 2022. We came within one win of a championship, and I really want to finish the job someday. That's the goal, is be a part of a championship team, and I think we could do it in Aberdeen this year. So I think that's the big goal. But in terms of other goals, I think the biggest thing is, gain exposure for myself, gain exposure for the team. I think be able to, on a nightly basis, show our fans that, how much I care about not only this, what I'm doing as for my job, play-by-play broadcasting, but also how much I care about the team and, bring in the action to the fans and the listeners and audience back home. So those are some big goals, but the ultimate goal is at some point to be a part of a championship team.
Yeah, I wish you luck in that. And I do hope that the Ironbirds will be a contender for the championship. But can we hear a home run call from you?
Oh man, that's tough. People ask me that a lot. They're like, yeah, let me hear your broadcasting voice, or, let me hear a call. It's so tough to replicate it when you're not doing it live, at a game. But I will say one thing: I don't change my voice at all when I broadcast. I think a lot of aspiring broadcasters think that they have to sound like an announcer or give, an announcer voice when they're broadcasting and try to change their voice to sound like somebody else. My best advice is, be yourself, talk the way you talk and just let it be your natural voice, and that's the best. But in terms of, a big call, my signature home run call is "Fire Me Up," and then I say the guy's name who hit the homer, and I do that in big moments. So, just yesterday, I'll do this one. Just yesterday, or 2 days ago, Maxwell Costas, one of our infielders, hit a homer, and I said, Costas picks on the first pitch of the inning, hits a deep drive to left field. Left fielder goes back, looks up, and that one sails out of the yard. Fire me up, Maxwell Costas. So that's just a little taste of, a little sneak preview, kind of what my calls sound like.
So now I know that you have a special double call. So can you do that to the fans?
Yeah, the double call, two bagger with swagger. What's cool about that is I don't think there's anybody else that calls baseball games that has a set double call, a signature double call. So, it feels good that I have one and came up with one organically. But yeah, so a guy hits a big double, let's say, it ties the game or a go ahead shot, something like, Birds down a run, runners at second and third, bottom of the seventh inning, two down. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Horvath, ripped down the left field line into the corner. One run is in, here comes his second. And Mac Horvath pulls in at second with a go ahead two-run, two-bagger with swagger.
Yeah,
And
it's always nice to have your own call.
yeah, I mean it makes it fun. It keeps it fresh, and I think the goal for any play-by-play broadcaster is to have a signature call that people that watch and listen to your games associate you with. And, eventually I'd love for, my name and voice to be associated with a team. I think that's when you really know you've made it as a broadcaster.
Yeah. So who was your favorite team growing up?
Phillies fan growing up, diehard Phillies fan, growing up. And of course, now it's different. It's different when you work in professional baseball. I mean, I spent a year working for a Pirates minor league team, and now this is my third year working for an Orioles minor league team. But growing up in the Philly area, passionate about the Phillies and all of Philly sports. And, I saw a lot of talented players, come through Philly growing up. Got to see a 2008 World Series championship and go to the parade. So, definitely always going to be love for the hometown team.
I have two favorite teams, the Orioles and Nationals. Would you say it's okay to have two favorite teams?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, especially if they're in different leagues, you got an AL team and an NL team, nothing wrong with that. And I think it's, for me, I'm just a baseball fan. Like, I don't have anything against any team. I don't have anything against any players. I love the game. I want to see the game continue to grow and people to love the game the way I do. And for the younger generation, people to grow up baseball fans and to play baseball and watch baseball. So, there's nothing wrong with liking multiple teams, different players. If you like a player on a rival team, absolutely nothing wrong with that. It only helps grow the game and help build people's interests in the game.
You seem so confident. Were you always so confident?
That's a great question. And I
Yeah.
appreciate the compliment. I'm 29 years old now. I see the world differently than I did growing up 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 2 years ago. And I think over the years, the one thing that I've never lost is my passion and love for what I do for the game of baseball and for broadcasting. Now, a few years ago, it's funny you bring up confidence because there was a time when my confidence was just completely shattered. Once the COVID pandemic hit, I lost out on opportunities to work in broadcast and baseball. The next year, it was tough getting back in. Before the Ironbirds hired me, it had been almost 3 years since my last live broadcast of a pro baseball game. So there was a time where I was, as low as you can go confidence wise, but that's something you can build back up. And I think, if I could change some of the rough patches that I went through, I absolutely would. But because I can't, I've just kind of tried to move on and build off of that. And I know because of the rough points in my life and career that I've been through, it makes me appreciate things more. And I think my confidence is higher because of that, because I appreciate the good stretch that I'm in right now. And I've gotten to a point now where the more reps I get, the better I get every single day. And I know that I'm really good at what I do. And I go into every broadcast thinking that, I'm the best play-by-play broadcaster out there. Of course, I know that there are other really, really talented broadcasters at every level, but you have to go into every broadcast being confident in yourself and your abilities. And I think that's why I've been able to have the best 2 years of my career the last 2 years is because my confidence continues to grow.
Yes, you lost your confidence and then brought it back. That's just great. I love how you recovered quickly. That was nice.
I,
So as you work in the Orioles organization, do you think the O's will go all the way this year? Because I think so. Go O's!
hey, is that that's the bird bobblehead? I like that. Oh man, it's so tough. It's so hard to win a World Series, but I think that they are one of the five best teams in baseball for sure. I think they were last year, and it just kind of, 101 wins in the regular season, and then they ran into a really good team in the playoffs, and things didn't work out. But easily a top five team this year. I think right now I'd put them as the favorite in the American League. It's tough to predict, a team that's going to win it, but I say that they've got a really good shot. I wouldn't be surprised if they win it, but I also wouldn't be surprised if, maybe it's another team's year. But, I'm pulling for them. It's the fact that I work for one of their minor league teams, and, a couple guys that I've called games for are up in the big leagues. Heston Kjerstad being one of them, Jackson Holliday, who should be back at some points, another. I'm really excited to see what they do this year.
Who was your all-time favorite Iron Bird
Ooh,
all
all-time
time?
favorite Bird. That's tough. I hate to pick favorites because all these guys are awesome. I mean, legitimately, I'm not just saying that. I mean, every single guy that I've had a chance to meet and get to know and call games for in Aberdeen, I mean, great guys. So, I when people ask me that, I always say that the three guys on our roster from last season that are from the Philadelphia area are definitely three of my favorites. And it's just cool to make that connection. I'm from the Philly area. There aren't that many people in professional baseball from the Philadelphia area. So the fact that I had three guys from near where I grew up on last year's roster with me, and that's Kyle Verbitsky, Dan Hammer, and Dylan Hyde. All three of them are pitchers in the organization. So I'll give a shout out to those guys. But I mean, everyone's been awesome.
I do you wait, do you get like do you have like every single Iron Bird signature then?
No, I actually don't really have anybody's signature because
Really?
I think that's just part of, being a broadcaster for the team. You're not looking for that stuff. But I actually, just the other day, when I had a chance to call the third no-hitter in Ironbirds history and first in Aberdeen, I got the four pitchers from the no-hitter, um, Zach Fruit, Davey Cruz, Preston Johnson, and Kyle Verbitsky, along with Adam Retzbach, our catcher, to sign my scorebook page from the no-hitter game, just as a memory to have. I'm going to take that page out of my scorebook and frame it and put it on my wall somewhere. So I have those guys' signature on a scorebook page to just to kind of remember, that no hitter forever.
Nice. That's amazing. I have Heston's Kierstad's signed card back when he's on back when he's on the Iron Birds. Then I have Adley Rutschman's Ironbird card. But
Those are great ones to have because
yeah.
they're both fantastic players and good guys.
But did you play baseball or other sport as a kid?
Yeah, so I played baseball and basketball growing up my whole life pretty much. Played baseball through high school, a couple years on the varsity team for my school. Even played in summer leagues while I was in college, and then a couple years before this year, before I got the Ironbirds gig in 2022, I was playing for a team in an adult rec league back home. So any chance I get to play baseball, that's the only thing that I'd rather be doing than broadcasting. I think that's always everyone's dream is, if they could play in the major leagues, that's the dream. For me, I mean, that like I said, that's the only thing that I'd probably rather be doing than broadcasting. But yeah, played catcher and outfield growing up in baseball, in basketball, played in the local leagues in my area, every year growing up until college and just love to be active. I mean, that's a big part of my life.
Yeah, I also play baseball, but my positions go like all around, so we don't know like which position we're fully. But I think I'm mostly best at shortstop, second, or pitcher.
Yeah, super utility player. That's awesome. Yeah, keep playing every position. It's only going to help you moving forward.
Yeah. But do you have any random question? Do you have any favorite candy?
Favorite candy? Yeah, that's a great question. I don't eat a ton of candy, but I love M&Ms. I'm a big fan of Crunch bars, Twix, um, Kit Kats. I'd probably say my top two though are the Crunch bar and Twix.
My favorite candy is the Skittles. And back when I was the Nats MVP MC, while I was doing a inning with Ryan Zimmerman, we were talking about random stuff, and then he said, who what is my favorite candy? I said Skittles, and then I was like, and then I said, that the batter who was up, if he hit a home run, I would give him 10,000 Skittles. And then he ended up hitting a home run. So next time, once they bring me back, I'm gonna give him the Skittles.
Yeah, so you owe Ryan Zimmerman a lot of Skittles. That's a great story. I
No,
mean,
no,
that's awesome.
not Ryan Zimmerman, the Nationals.
Oh, okay, okay. No, but that's cool though. Do they still have the Skittles logo on the tarp in DC?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. And then wait, uh, do you have any questions for me now?
Yeah, I mean, this is cool. Not only I love answering questions, but yeah, I mean, it's that's a cool way to do the interview. Have me throw out some questions for you. But I think one thing I'd love to know, Ash, is what is your dream job within broadcasting?
My dream job within broadcasting. I love doing play by play. I think it's way better than all the others because when I did it, I just felt connected with the game. Like I gotta say my thoughts out loud. I was connected with the game, and I loved
Okay.
that.
I like, yeah. I mean, there's nothing that can replicate the adrenaline rush that you can get doing play-by-play of really any game. But I love baseball because it's my favorite sport. I've had a few people ask me this question recently. If you could broadcast a game with anybody as your color commentator, who would you pick to go alongside you?
Anybody
Yeah.
as my commentator?
Yeah, as so you're play-by-play and the other person is the guest color commentator, the analyst.
Who would I pick?
Yes, you could bring back Ryan Zimmerman and call, that'd be cool.
Yeah, yeah, I could call Ryan Zimmerman again, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I like that answer. Yeah, somebody asked me that recently, and I said Derek Jeter. He was my, favorite player
Oh,
growing
yeah.
up. I think it would be awesome. And my
Shout out to
second choice,
Rowan.
my second choice would be Cole Hamels, the lefty from the Phillies. My favorite Philly of all time. So one of those two guys would be awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Rowan who also did it with you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any more questions?
Yeah, one more actually. So I know you said you've been out to a couple Ironbirds games. Or how far away do you live from the ballpark?
2 hours.
2 hours. Okay. When was the last time you were there?
Last time I was there was like probably like last year because every year I go to a baseball camp at Aberdeen, and every year I go to that game probably. And then, but this year I decided instead I'm gonna go to the play-by-play camp.
Okay, cool. Well, if you ever find yourself, you and your family are back in Aberdeen, coming to an IronBirds game, definitely let me know in advance. Be happy to, meet you in person, talk about some broadcast stuff, whatever. And I would love to, if you're down for it, I'll bring you up in the broadcast booth and you can check it out up there and even sit in the broadcast booth for an inning or two and just kind of observe, me calling the game and check it out from that perspective.
I would love to.
Yeah, man. The offer's on the table. If you ever, I know it's a little bit far for you guys, but if you're ever, going to be in town or definitely making the trip, definitely let me know.
Uh, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Ash. It was fun. I love talking about what I do and the broadcast and everything. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, I'll wait until it's off.
But
I love
yeah,
thank you.
thanks again, Ash.
Yeah, but thank you so much for coming on. It was so fun talking to you.
You're welcome, man. Yeah, it was fun talking to you too. Keep doing what you're doing. I love that you guys do this podcast, and yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're doing some awesome stuff with the Nats, and that opportunity with Zimmerman is so cool. So keep having fun with it.
I like how you had great detailed answers. You're energetic too. But
Yeah, it's easy to be energetic, when you love what you're doing, which is cool. And I appreciate the detailed questions too.
yeah, so this is Ash with Michael, and we're out.